All right. How's everybody doing out there? Back again with another episode of the show, The Lindsays. I'm TJ Lindsay. I'm with my lovely wife.
Hi, I'm Ty Lindsay.
And we back again with a new episode. We got a really good one today. We was shuffling through topics today and we landed on this one, and I feel like it's a very important topic. It's something we really haven't covered in great depth yet. So gonna go a little bit deep on this one, and it's about marriage and really good topic. So the topic that we're gonna talk about. So the name of this topic is the Great Expectation Reset. So it's aligning your marriage vision. So what this is really about is kind of like the idea of your idealistic expectations of marriage before you get into it, and what actually is what it is when you're actually in a marriage. So I'm gonna go ahead and pass the floor to my wife. I'm gonna ask this question just to get it started. First of all, before I even get into the questions that I have here, well, I'll just ask the question. I think you can ask this in this. So,
Okay.
what are some expectations you brought into the marriage that you didn't realize were unrealistic? And what do you see in others, like other females' expectations that could potentially cause issues for them when they get married?
Um, I would say happiness, like your spouse being responsible, being like solely responsible for just making you happy. And I would also say like perfect, like the perfect person doesn't exist. If that makes sense what I'm saying.
You sure about that?
Like yeah, like the perfect person doesn't exist. Like there's a perfect person for you, but like the perfect person does not exist. But mainly it is the thought of the husband being 100% responsible for you being happy.
So what do you think, like, for women out there? What are you seeing that women say they want in, like, what is the perfect husband for a woman? Like, what are they saying they want? They want what, 6 feet tall, six figures,
Well, they're
buff.
definitely talking about the income. I don't
Okay.
think women want men that are short.
Mm,
Uh, but that's really just what I hear about money and just him being responsible for making you happy.
okay.
I don't know any other, I can't think of like any other. I know for me specifically is like the idea of making you saying that you got to be completely responsible for my happiness.
And how did you work through that though? Because if that was your expectation that your husband would always make you happy, like at what point were you able to realize that this wasn't possible, or that this isn't what it was meant to be or what it's supposed to be?
Um, Relationship with God.
Okay.
And, when you get into marriage and you see like, okay, this is not happening. Like, I can't expect for you to, I can't expect for you to fix what's wrong with me. Does that make sense what I'm saying?
That
Yeah.
makes sense. And that's something we're going to talk about
Yeah.
later on, as far as like how marriage holds a mirror up to yourself so that you can better see
Yeah.
yourself. That is
So
one
like a lot
thing.
of my unhappiness stem from what I didn't like as far as what life had given to me,
Mm.
and to expect for your spouse to then come in and fix that. The more I say it, it sounds insane.
Yeah, that's a
But to me, it sounds insane. Like you can't undo what happened to me.
yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
Like you can't undo the thing. Life is going to life. It's inevitable. That's just what it's going to be.
Hmm.
So yeah, like you can't change or alter what happens in life. You don't. That's not. You can't do that.
Yeah, that's
So
true.
I would say that would be my one, like the main expectation. I don't think I really had any other, like money and stuff like that. Wasn't really a big deal for me. The reason why that wasn't like number one on my list is because I ultimately knew that I'm not dealing with you, period, if you don't have money. And what I mean by that is if you are not established as far as in a career, like if you don't get up and go work, if you're not ambitious, if you're not stuff like that, I don't really deem that as on my list because I'm just not going for it, period, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
So it's like never a big
yeah.
factor for me.
So it's just like the standard.
Yeah, because that's literally that's a non-negotiable.
I got you.
So that's never like really been big on my list because I know like if that's not even what you're doing, then I'm not even going to entertain it at all.
Yeah,
Yeah. So it would be just making saying that my husband, it has to come in and make me happy
that's
with
true.
life. Period.
I feel you. I think from my perspective, I think one thing as far as like expectations, I would say when like we get a lot of our what we think of marriage from like the TV. So a lot of wives on TV are like stay at home mothers. They
Yeah.
like cook, clean, take care of the kids,
Mm-hmm.
things like that.
Yeah.
And we don't live in that generation anymore to where it's like we have these old school type of marriages and the
Mm-hmm.
marriages are a lot more dynamic these days. So
Yeah.
that's one thing I would say is I had my before I got married, that would be one of my expectations that I would think that my wife would that would be one of her responsibilities in my life,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then another one I would say like expectation is just like love making as far as like sexually,
Mm-hmm.
like you as a man going into a marriage, you expect your wife to pretty much be an object for your pleasure almost,
Mm-hmm.
and when you get into the marriage you start to realize that, what I'm saying,
Mm-hmm.
that that's kind of not what it's supposed to be. I
Yeah.
heard a one of my good friends told me recently, we were actually talking about that topic, and he said like before you get married, if you're like let's say you one of these dudes that are messing with different women, you and it feels like you're getting fulfilled because you're juggling different women or whatever, but
Yeah.
in the grand scheme of things, if you would have took the time to just learn one of these women, you would have already experienced that already. You know what I'm saying? The ebbs and flows
Yeah.
of a of that type of relationship, and I feel like that's something that's an unrealistic expectation that a lot of men take into their marriage, is expecting that their wife is just going to be ready to go you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
And there's a time and a place for that. However,
Yeah.
that's a something that expectation that a lot of men, if you go into the marriage thinking that is the most important thing, you're gonna
Yeah.
have some issues
Yeah.
there, in my
Yeah.
opinion. Yeah. So we can move on to the next question. So I'll go to the next question. Next question. So after realizing that your happiness was,
Mm-hmm.
your responsibility, and you wasn't going to get that played out because it's a personal issue that you're
Yeah.
having within yourself. What did you realize are the actual things that you need in a relationship? So what do you need from your husband once you realize that he can't do this, but what should a husband do for you, or what did you learn from that?
So for me, it's just literally I need my husband to be supportive in all aspects.
Hmm.
Like if I say all as whatever the season is in my life, I just want you to be supportive, and I need someone. No, now I don't expect for you to change it. Like I don't expect for you to come in and try to change it because 9 times out of 10 you can't fix it. It's
Yeah.
probably something that I got going on, or it's just something that life happens and something may have happened. Like if it's a death in the family or something like that, like you
Yeah.
can't bring that. Like you know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
So if it's just things like that, then I just need for my husband to be supportive in that area and just to have, yeah, a supportive husband to do life with, like literally, someone to ride this thing out with me, because
Hmm.
life is going to life. It is inevitable. Stuff is gonna happen,
Yeah.
and I can't. I'm gonna go through different seasons. You're gonna go through different seasons, and like I said, you can't. You ain't gonna be able to change whatever life throws. Like you just ain't gonna be able to change that, but you could be there to support me through it.
Yeah.
So that right there that's very important to me. Like I need support to get through it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think that one thing I would say that I found was support is a huge one, but also I needed like a friend, like as far
Yeah.
as like, of course a friend supports you, but like in like a different type
Yeah.
of, you know what I'm saying, support,
Yeah.
like you said, it's unwavering if you're in a
Yep.
marriage. So I would
Yep.
say when you come into it, you're thinking that it's this way, but you realize what you were really looking for was more important than anything that you expected
Yeah.
at first. So I would say from my wife, I feel like I love the fact that she's just like a great friend to me. We're like best friends. I learned in marriage that I'm a little clingy sometimes to my wife. I love, sometimes I need a hug. And as as a young man, is you would never express that. Like, I
Yeah.
just need a hug. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's more of something that a young woman would know. A young man might need a hug, but not know how to express it and
Yeah.
not know that that's exactly what he need. And I feel like you and my wife has been just my shoulder,
Yeah.
my shoulder, my strong foundation. Spiritually strong woman is something that you absolutely need. My wife is a prayer warrior, heavy into her spiritual practices. And I feel like that is also a praying woman. It's like
Yeah.
your grandma. Your grandma, a lot of the things that we get, a lot of the blessings that the Lord gives us and all that is because it was a strong woman praying for us
Yeah.
down the line,
Yeah.
and having that strong woman, that connection, that source right here that I have access to every day, I feel like has been something that I need that I
Yeah.
did not realize that
That
I
you needed.
needed.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
was thinking about all the other stuff. So,
Oh, thank you,
you
honey.
know what I'm saying? But so we'll go to this next question. This is a really good question. So, many couples have approached marriage with a survival mindset. So, focusing merely on getting through conflicts rather than genuinely thriving. And we live in a world today where they say take a two-person household, because the
Yeah.
economy is bad. We need two incomes
Yeah.
to even keep up. But if you are getting married based off of that alone and not the intangibles of
Yeah.
a person, then what I'm saying, is that right? So what are you seeing out there from women who say they need to get married, and it's because of the way the world's working, or
Yeah.
just because they are longing for the things that we thought we wanted before we got married, and their expectations may not be met. So what are you seeing out there, and how do you feel like that will affect them if that's the mindset they go into it with?
So I think the biggest one, which you just touched on, is society,
Mm.
like inflation being up, all of that. And I think that if your desire is this is like one of the main reasons why I want to get married is because for financial gain, you're going to be in trouble. Because that sounds good, and it does. It is. It's wonderful when
Yeah.
once you make it there. So I don't want to downplay that.
Yeah.
But if that's your only reason, like if that is high on your list, you're just going to have issues because are you going to scout out who this person truly is? What if some hardship happens in within the marriage? Are y'all going to be able to stick that out?
Yeah.
How are you going to handle conflict? What happens then? So all of these things you have to take into account, and if all of those things are not going good, then forget the finances. You're going to lose it.
Yeah.
So I think that's just like a big no. Like you have to be able to. It has to be for other reasons. And what was the other question?
So I said,
You
what,
just said what the effects would be.
yeah, what are like when you go into it with
Yeah.
that mindset, like you kind of said,
Yeah.
like you're gonna be let down.
Yeah, every
Yeah.
time you'll be let down. If you are going into it just to say, just to say I want a husband.
Yeah.
Okay, well, so what does that mean? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what? It's almost as if you're checking off a box. Oh, okay, I did this in life. I graduated. I got the degree. I got the job. Now I want the husband. But so for what? I think women should really sit down and analyze themselves in that area if that's truly like where it's like, okay, now I want a husband, but tell me why.
Yeah.
Like,
I feel you.
tell me why. Because if it's just to say I got a husband, that's another accomplishment. That's going to be another issue for the reasons that I just said, prior. So yeah.
I feel like with men, like sometimes we'll get to that level as well, and it's not talked about a lot. But like men will get to an age or they'll get to a certain level of success where it's like, okay, what's next? I see everybody else getting
Yep.
married.
Yep.
Let me get married. And
Yeah.
there's no issue with that thinking. However, if you that will allow you to force it sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes you'll force it.
Yep.
And on both sides, we talk about getting through conflict instead of focusing on thriving.
Yeah.
That can cause you to, in certain situations, stick around longer than, or be with somebody that you may not want to be with
Yeah.
for real, just to say I'm married to somebody, just because I see other people married to
married.
people,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
instead of like a marriage is not supposed to be like that. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? It's supposed to be a partnership.
Yeah.
It's supposed to, and when you talk about focus on thriving, like
Yeah.
like we're talking about focusing on everything in our life getting better, and
Yeah.
not like just putting up with something that's not working. Now, some things you'll discover that it's you, and there's maybe some things that you need to change. However, in certain situations, like if this partnership is not affecting both of our lives in a positive way, making our finances
Yep.
grow, making our
Yep.
ambitions grow, getting us closer to God,
Yeah.
making our children, you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying,
yeah, yeah.
with the right mindset to raise our children in the right direction, then I feel like that is an unhealthy way to go about
Into it. Yeah.
pursuing marriage just because
Yeah.
everybody else is married.
Doing it because I think we touched on this a little bit in the last episode of how sacrificial it is. It's literally a sacrificial union. Like you're sacrificing a lot. And if it's just finances, then again you're gonna have a problem because it's sacrificial.
Yeah.
If it's just I want to do it because everybody else is doing it, you're gonna have a problem because it requires sacrifice. It's sacrificial.
Yeah.
And if to just go into it in a survival mode again, you're gonna have issues because it's sacrificial.
Yeah.
And I think we don't. Do you have another question? Or,
I got a couple more questions.
okay. Okay, go ahead. Go to another. We can come back around to this
we
one.
can come back around. Okay, so this is a more personal question as far as like couples and marriages. How often should couples be resetting or realigning their expectations as a couple?
All the time.
Okay.
So all the time. Yeah, pretty much all the time. There needs to be fluent communication. There needs to be fluent. All right, we sit down and and meet up. I know in the very beginning, I used to have issues with that. Like,
Yeah, you did.
like TJ, we just talked about this,
Yeah.
but and you don't understand like that stuff, like thriving, like you said, like you need to do those kinds of things so that you can thrive, that you don't go into survival mode, or so that you don't get to a point to where you're like, okay, this is it, and it's like, no, there's so much more, and just constantly, analyzing. That's pretty much what you need to do. I would say all the time. There's never I don't think there's a right way, but there's a wrong way, and that is deciding on not coming together or not communicating or not.
And I think some couples think that because they are in the bed together every night, or because they are, what I'm saying,
Yeah.
talking, that they are resetting and having the hard conversations, or just the more focused conversations, like about our future and things like
Yeah.
that. And I feel like you gotta like we like we were talking about earlier, we meet probably once a week, and you know what I'm saying, every month we'll like reset, like, okay, what's our goal for this month,
Yeah.
what do we want to
Yeah.
focus on,
Yeah.
and then ever so often we'll get into a deeper thing where we'll actually go and be like, all right, we taking this away, this away, this away, this way, you know what I'm saying, and
Yeah.
we'll do things like that, so, and we'll actually like hold each other accountable
Yeah.
during seasons
Yeah.
of where we're resetting. So
Yeah.
I feel like resetting, like you said, all the time is definitely important. And it's like business. Like in business, they meet all the time. All they do is meet.
Yeah.
And like in relationships, like even friendship groups
Yep.
and stuff like that, we never communicating. We never having the tough questions about
Yeah.
like what are you doing with your life,
Yeah.
stuff like that.
Yeah.
People don't even want to hear that type of
Yeah.
stuff. But
Yep.
when you go to your job and they ask you, "Hey T, where's the,"
Yeah, yeah,
then that's
yeah.
you ready to answer it then.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I feel like resetting is imperative for a marriage to work long term, and especially if, like you said, you want to thrive out here. If you want to create generational wealth. If
Yeah.
you want to build a business, what I'm saying, a family business. If you really want to have
Yep.
a thriving marriage, because that's what it's for.
Yeah.
We're here
Yeah.
to thrive. We're
Yeah.
here to be, like you said, marriage is not going to just make you happy, but I mean, you're not wrong for saying I'm here to be happy.
Yeah. Yeah.
And part of my role is to say, okay, how much can I do about your happiness? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then you'll figure out where you can step in and,
Yeah.
take care of what you need to take care of. And it's
Yeah.
the same way from my end. What
Yeah.
can Tiana do about this problem that I have personally? And what can I do? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We meet each other in the middle. But yeah, always resetting and auditing finances and everything is something we do
Yeah.
constantly. And I think it's important to practice that early in a relationship.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I got one more question.
Okay.
All right. You ready? Okay. How would you handle your singleness knowing what you know now? Because a lot of people, like we talked about earlier, they rushing to get married because everybody else is married. You know what I'm saying? And they're not able to enjoy their season of singleness. They're not doing it the right way, and they're pressured to do things.
Yeah.
If you, knowing what you know now, you've been in a marriage, you've had expectations, how would you handle your singleness now?
I would be traveling. I'm just being completely honest with you. I would be everywhere. I would be everywhere. I wouldn't be worried about other people. So I think when I was single, I wasted a lot of time with people.
Yeah.
And like I cannot get that time back.
That's a big
So I
one.
wasted a lot of time with people. So I never had an issue like exploring or like going different places, but there would be times that, because I don't want to go by myself.
Yeah.
So I'm just not going to go
That's the
because my
big one.
friends, you know what I'm saying? Like I just wasted a lot of time with people, and I can't get that time back. But literally that's what I would be doing. I would be traveling. I would be everywhere.
Working on yourself.
Working on myself. I've probably did a million missionary trips.
Yeah.
Like
All over the world.
I would be. That's just what I would be doing. Yeah, I wouldn't be too much worried or concerned about. about happiness like that. 'Cause I think a lot of times we put too much into happiness, and it's like it goes in cycles.
Yeah.
Like no matter what, it goes in cycles. Because you're gonna go through those seasons, right? And it just goes in cycles. And I think in my singleness, I didn't necessarily understand that.
Yeah.
I didn't understand that. Like it goes in it's cycles, and it'll come back to you. It comes back every single time. It comes back. But yeah, I would be traveling. I would be living. I would just be living.
Yeah.
That's the best way I could put it.
For real.
But I wouldn't hold back. I wouldn't hold back for the sake of others, and that's where I like stripped myself of in my singleness. Like I said, I wasted a lot of time with people, and I can't. That's what I would change.
Yeah.
Because I mean, now I'm doing everything,
Yeah.
but and it's lovely to do it with you. But I'm also like sometimes when I hear like my friends who are single, and it's just like, dang, like man, if I was y'all, I would be on the flight right now.
Yeah.
You ain't got no husband, you ain't got no kids. I'm getting on the flight.
That's the important thing. No kids.
Yeah.
If
Yes.
you're single and you manage to
Yeah.
to you know what I'm saying, make it to not have any kids
Yeah.
as well,
Yeah.
and I knew what I knew now,
Yeah.
man, it'd be
Yeah.
it would be
Just,
crazy.
yeah.
It's like so Whitney Houston got a song, the greatest love of all. I think that's what it's called, where she says, I found love when I found myself. You know, and a lot of times we'll be looking for ourselves in other people.
Yep.
Like we're leaning on relationships. We going in and out of relationships, we think we're looking for that person, but you're actually looking for you. You know what I'm saying, within that person.
Yeah.
And knowing what I know now, I know that work can be done on yourself.
Yeah,
When
on
you're
your
single, and that's the best time to do it.
Yeah.
Like you said, instead of having to have all of these dependencies on you, children,
Yeah.
wife, you know what I'm saying? I
Yeah.
gotta make sure she cool with it,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
Make sure you cool with it. I can just do what I gotta do.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would definitely be, traveling, working on myself, perfecting the craft,
Yeah.
just doing a lot of things,
Yeah.
in my singleness. I would not be so focused on finding a spouse or
Yeah.
or dealing with females if I could do it again at all. Because like you said, other people, that's where you waste most of your time. Also your friends.
Yeah.
I would not have been worrying about trying to be inside of friend groups. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? I would
yeah.
have been working, like you said, I'm traveling by myself.
Yes.
I'm gonna find friends when I get there.
When I get there.
We'll
Yes.
find friends then.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
And I definitely I would have took my relationship with God more seriously. Like I would have pursued,
talk about it.
I would have pursued God more intentionally. But again, so worried about other people, like I wouldn't even focus on that relationship. So that's what I would do.
Yeah.
That's what I would be
Me
doing.
too. Absolutely.
Yeah. Cause you and God, and you single, and you don't got no kids, that's a whole nother.
You got the
But
word.
that's something we don't really talk about.
Yeah.
Like, like flourishing in your singleness. And I think like some people might hate me when I say this, but I think the church doesn't do a good job at teaching women on the benefits of being single.
Yeah.
Because you got to think you're more available. Like now we're taking it to our relationship with God, because there is a lot of godly women out here who are single, and I do hear them often talk about, I want to be married, and it's just kind of like you don't even understand, like you have one up on me.
Yeah.
And it's crazy for me to say, I know, because you desire what I have, but you have one up on me, especially with your relationship with God.
Yeah.
Because you are fully available to him. I have more of a responsibility on this end. You know what I'm saying? But I just think the church doesn't do a good job at leading women in the benefits of flourishing in their singleness. And I think a lot of times we will we make that as a goal within the church, and it's kind of like, all right, you got married, so boom, you did it.
Yeah.
And then it's kind of like, oh, if you don't let you be a Christian woman and you're not married, it's like, what? Now everybody's side-eyeing you. So I think the church doesn't do a really good job at teaching about that, I think.
Yeah.
What do you think about
Yeah.
like the church and with the single men?
I agree. I agree from both perspectives. On the woman's side, I don't think they do a good job of setting expectations. Like
Yeah.
you said, like we started from the beginning, expectations of marriage, and also like you said, if they make it, I agree with everything you said. Like they make it like the end all be all,
Yeah.
and yeah, there's more to it, and there's more work they could be doing
Yeah.
before they do find a husband. You know, so I think that's one thing. And then as far as men, I feel like with men in the church, because church has become it's like when we go to church, like it's a lot of couples in church, right?
Yeah.
Like church is one of the places that you'll have the most like anxiety as a single person in
Yeah.
church, because you see
All these people.
everybody's
It's a couple.
married, you
Yeah.
know, and it's
Yeah.
just families in church, and you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And it's like I feel like church doesn't speak enough to the single men out there, you know what I'm saying, to set their expectations, and also to kind of level set them a little bit, because when I see that I'm not being, like focused on, you know, I feel like
Yeah.
I'm not the focus of the conversation. Sometimes that pushes me away, not from God particularly, but from the mentors and the
Yeah.
married men that may be able to provide me with a little bit more perspective,
Yeah.
and the perspective that I need, for me to go out there and search for my spouse in a healthy way. So I feel like that is one thing as far as like men within the church.
Yeah.
There's not enough singles ministry anymore. Like
Yeah.
some churches do the single stuff where they'll
Yeah.
they'll do like
Yeah.
matchmaking and stuff like that. But how many people find? I mean, some people do. Like from our perspective, from coming from where we come from, I don't know many people, just me personally, that found their spouse in the church.
Yeah.
Do you?
Nope. Only only person, only couple that I can think of is when I was growing up, and that was like, well, no, I don't even think they found themselves in the church. I just think they kind of grew up and they kind of found God together. So,
Yeah.
nope, not no, none that I can think of.
So I feel like that is an opportunity there as far as like within the church, the body of Christ. If we're gonna talk about, or if marriage is the kind of the standard
Yeah.
within church, I feel like we need to have things particularly for the single people within the church, just
Yeah.
to, like I said, talk about everything they could be doing and focusing on while they're not married. A lot of people in the Bible ain't married. We talked about this. Paul wasn't married. Jesus
Yeah.
never got married.
And if we,
You know,
Paul told y'all,
some people wasn't called to be married.
yeah, he said that. He also said it's kind of better to be single so that you could focus on your relationship with God. There was a
So-
part in scripture that he talked about that, but I didn't mean to cut you off. But but I think that was his point. He
Yeah.
was kind of adding to that. Like when you do get called into, or when you do go into your marriage, you're not so available, and the point is this relationship with God. And just like like we've been saying, I don't think the church do a good job at talking to them
Yeah.
about that. Like you're kind of like in the best season at this point, because you can give your full attention to him.
Yeah. And you're needed here.
Yeah.
I think that's another thing with singles in the church. They need to know that
Yeah.
I'm needed here.
Yeah.
I feel like when before I was married and everything, I didn't feel like I had a place outside of if I was like, playing an instrument
Just
in
that-
church or something, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Being
yeah, yeah.
like useful to the actual process of church. But outside of that, it's like, I don't know, I feel like nobody was talking to me specifically. And I feel like
Yeah.
a lot of men and women sometimes find themselves in a position within the church to where they it's like, I want marriage too, I
Yeah.
want to get married. I want everything that that is promised to me through, or that is available to me through the word. But it's just not happening for me. And I feel like the church doesn't do a good enough job of level setting those people and letting them know they're important. You're just as important as anybody else in here.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
your marriage status does not constitute your heaven status.
Ooh,
So
that's a gem.
yeah, I mean that's
But
just.
yeah. Yeah. So,
But it is good to be married, and I appreciate the gift of marriage.
yeah.
And I feel like I was one of those people that was called to be married. As far as I like it. I love it. We want to continue to do our work through our marriage because
Yeah.
we've seen what it has done for us. It has done great things for our lives. So I don't want to downplay that marriage. Marriage is beautiful. I
Yeah.
love it. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? And we do benefit from all of the things that you see and that you think. However, I would just say that there is a don't do it because of that reason,
Yeah, like you.
not because just everybody else is doing
Yeah,
it
yeah,
or
yeah.
this is what I'm supposed to do.
Yep.
Yeah.
You kind of got. I always tell people to get to the root of it. Like if you're a kind of person that you find yourself saying like I want to be married, I want to be married, I want to be married, I want to be like what is the root? What is causing you to be that obsessed with wanting to be married? I don't know if obsessed is the correct word because that kind of sounds bad, but like what, like, you know what I'm saying? Like what
Yeah.
is causing you do you want, is it because other people are doing it? Is it because you're just looking at other people and it looks good? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I would sit down with that and figure out like what's the root cause of it. Because a lot of times if it has nothing to do with God, period. If it has nothing to do, I'm going to just say with God, for real, for real. If it has nothing to do with God, honoring God, if it has nothing to do with you understanding that I'm going in, this is like sacrifice. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? If you go into it without that understanding, then I would suggest that you work on yourself a little bit more or take time out to talk to more married men and women. I feel like
Yeah.
because you're gonna get into it and it's not gonna be what you thought.
Yeah.
You know?
Love and marriage is a revolutionary act.
Yeah.
Once you get married, there's a lot of attacking. The enemy
Yeah.
you're gonna get a lot of that stuff, and it's a lot of that. You're gonna get that while you're single as well, but in marriage, like I said, it's a revolutionary act. So I think doing it from that standpoint, doing
Yeah.
it from that, knowing that, and coming
Yeah.
in like we here to honor God. We
Yeah.
here to create a change, to
Yeah.
change the generations of
Yep.
our family, to
Yep.
make something new, to
Yep.
make something that grow out of the concrete.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
That's the mindset you
That
need
you
to
want
do.
to
You know what
have.
I'm saying?
Yeah.
If you do it from that perspective, it's a lot easier to be sacrificial in your
Yeah.
love. It's a lot easier to be a leader. It's a lot easier to follow
Yeah.
within the
Yep.
context of we're doing this for a real reason, a godly reason.
Yeah.
And we know that this is going to come with ups and downs. And
Yeah.
it's not going to be easy.
Yes.
However, I got my boots on the ground.
Period. But I mean, that's real. That's
Yeah.
real. And
Yeah.
if that's not your mindset,
It's going to be tough.
yeah, yeah, work on that a little bit. If that's truly not your mindset, because you're gonna be mad, you'll be upset, you'll be disappointed.
And some of the
Yep.
things you're looking for in that person, just to reiterate it, some of the things you're looking for in a spouse, you probably could find them in yourself. And God is probably waiting to reveal those things to you
Yeah,
if you were to, one, ask Him, and for two, if you do the work that you have been called to
Yeah.
do and stop worrying so much about what
why
everybody,
you ain't got it
what
yet?
everybody
Or,
else is
yeah,
doing.
yeah,
Why you
yeah.
ain't got it yet. Yeah.
Yep.
And that's the season when God gonna bless you with a spouse.
Yeah, Yeah.
So
And I want to add one more thing. I think because we talked about the church not doing a good job, I also think that married couples, I don't think that we do a good job at talking to single people either.
that's true.
So I think because women are like, we can be mean. We can be mean. And it's kind of like some of us will have an attitude as if we've never been single before, and so sometimes it's hard for a single woman to approach a married woman and say, "Hey, like, how did you deal with this when you were single? Like, how did you overcome?" And it's kind of like they turn their face up like single, like you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Oh
So
yeah.
I think that we could do a better job as well as far as married couples do a better job at just taking care of one another in that area, because I think a lot of married couples kind of they're not willing to talk about things, or they kind of like act like everything is perfect, or
Yeah.
you'll have some that just act like they ain't never been single before.
Yeah.
And so I think
But on the flip side, I agree with you. I hate to cut. I didn't mean to cut
no,
you
you're
off,
okay.
but we had a good conversation. We're gonna talk about this on the show too. We got a lot of topics we've been talking about here, though. Sometimes married people do need to do a better job, but single people also need to be open to listening to somebody that is married, and
That's
not
true
from a
too.
context of they think they know everything.
Yeah, yeah,
We
yeah,
all can be better listeners and better mentees.
yeah,
We got something to learn from everybody, and I
yeah,
think that's one thing with having a
yeah,
relationship with God is that it forces you to humble yourself. You
yeah,
know,
yeah,
and I think we all can humble ourselves to information. Like a
yeah,
older couple coming in and teaching us, I'm ears open. I want to
yeah.
hear what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? I want to hear the success about it. So yes, married people do need to speak more, and we're going to do that. We are
Yeah,
going to be front line on that, which we're trying to do here as well. But you have to be open as a single person to
to
hear the
women.
message.
That's true.
Just to hear it.
That's
Hear it
true.
out. Hear me out. Hear
Yeah,
all of us out. Because I
yeah,
think a lot of married people, because single people are always, because they've seen the bad stuff in marriage, and they always lean on that as a reason to, to
say to somebody, yeah,
yeah, to say stuff that sometimes they don't. I don't know. They act like it's just magic. Sometimes
yeah,
if you don't believe that something can happen for you, or if you don't, I don't know, if you don't believe it can happen for you, sometimes you think that she's lucky or something like that. And I think the lessons that a married couple can give you, that it's not luck. It's a process, and a lot of what we talked about here is that process. But you just got to have an open ear to hear it as well. So yeah, we
that's
got to do a
true.
better job. But go ahead.
So, but I'm talking. I agree with what you said.
Yeah,
I'm talking about the ones that like the
that one
single people
here.
that want to
Yeah.
hear.
Okay.
And you men probably don't really do this. I can only speak for a woman's perspective. We're very just catty, and we can be mean, and it's just not okay that we act like that towards one another. I'm not sure how it goes from a man's point of view, but I just know that that's something that we deal with as women. It's kind of like, oh, I'm married now. Don't You're single. Don't talk to me. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Almost as if you ain't never been single before.
Yeah.
And she just asking you a simple question. How did you overcome X, Y, and Z? Why you waited?
Yeah.
What's the harm in that? So I think I should have said maybe wives, just speaking from a woman's perspective. I think we can do a better job at, taking care of our sisters who are single,
Yeah. That's
and
true.
uplifting them in certain areas
Yeah.
versus like looking down on them. I don't know. That's just my opinion.
We got a job to do too. That the church is not. That's another thing. That's another thing where we keep running over. We're gonna
I
keep.
know.
I keep giving them this stuff. But the church ain't just the temple. We are the body of Christ.
Yeah.
So when we talk about the church is not doing this, blah 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 blah. All right, that's your opportunity to be the church, because the
Yeah.
church is not just in those walls confined to this building.
Yep.
Let
Yep.
us people within that body come out and do that work to help the singles. So
Yes. Facts.
that's we are here to provide anything we can through all this stuff. Tiana has an amazing book on the way.
Woo!
That's
Woo,
really important.
woo.
I think women will get a lot out of that book. I'm working on a book for young men as well as young people, period, and from the context of my own personal experiences as well. So we trying to do the work, y'all. Just, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Bear with us, and and if you have suggestions, leave comments and
Yeah.
interact with us. Let's build this community. We want to build
Yeah.
a community of like-minded people and continue to strive towards making the world a better place.
Yes.
And that's it.
That's all you got?
That's all I got.
Okay. That's all I got.
All right. We love y'all. And if you have any questions, reach out to us. The website is coming very, very soon. Our marriage workshop is not just for married people. It's for married people, couples, singles.
Yeah.
It'll touch every aspect of relationships. It's coming very soon. Tiana's book is coming soon. I got a music project coming very soon. We've been working, y'all, and this new year, we are ready to take flight with everything God has for us. So,
Yes. Yep.
yeah, pray for us. We praying for y'all, and we love y'all. And
Yep. Bye.
like Pam say,
Peace. I
that's
said
it.
it right. Peace.
Peace.